Alright guys, so it's nice and warm out today. I got the GSX outside and I diagnosed some of the wiring issues. So I'm going to take you over to the car, we're going to look through some of them and I'll explain what's going on. So I was wondering about all of this wiring here that I kept talking about. And all of this is spliced, it's all running back through into the interior and back to the fuel pump. This is all the wiring I've pulled out of this car that's not factory. All this is like speaker equipment, subwoofers, all that. But it all came back to this box, which I'm not using. I don't need it. So basically what's going on here is all these wires are spliced off the factory harness and they're coming into the box, and then all of the and then the wires are coming back in and going to the plug, and then the one wire here is running into the engine bay and going to the relay. So this black wire in the relay is running back to that box, which I'm guessing is some sort of signal wire to this relay, which then is getting a constant power from right here. Oh, there, I dropped it again. Getting a constant power from right here. This one runs back to the fuel pump. So now I know where all this goes. I can pull all this out and put it back to factory spec and eliminate all this mess that I've been stressing about. Alright, so I'm back at the fuel pump again. Here is the black wire that goes through this one right here, so I can fish this out without harming anything else. I don't need that, which I hope I can pull this straight out and I don't have to rip out the carpet and everything else. That would be nice. And then here's the power wire that's also from the front of the car, and I'm going to try and pull that out. And then there's also a ground wire, which I'm not sure if they go to the pump or where these go. I know the speakers all are factory and they're all wired in. I took out one of these little tweeters already. I'm getting ready to take out this one. I'm going to put this pump cover back on. I'm going to fish out all this wiring, and then I have to disconnect all of those wires and reroute them back to the factory plug. Okay, well, things just got a lot more interesting, because when I tried to pull this red wire through and it wasn't coming, I was like, what's going on? It's stuck behind this panel. Oh, Jesus. We got another resistor back here, another box, another relay. What is going on here? I have no idea. There's a controller to set the fuel. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is like something you'd see in a 1,000 horsepower car, not a 600 horsepower street car. This is ridiculous. I guess I gotta pull all this out too. Here's all the wiring that came out of that car that I didn't need. So all this is fuel related for the fuel pumps. All of this is audio cables and wires and some miscellaneous stuff I found in the engine bay that was maybe for a boost controller or something. I cannot believe all of this. This is ridiculous. But whatever. It's all out of the car now. So now I can wire that ECU back up to how it's supposed to be. Hopefully be one step closer to being back to stock wiring. Recently I got some stock headlights. I also got some new struts for the rear hatch. They went out, as well as some new support bar, or some support beams for the front crash bar, so I can put one of those back in, and also to mount an intercooler on. I've also cleaned up a lot of the wiring from earlier, from yesterday, so a lot of the stuff's getting done. We're moving pretty fast here. I still have the interior torn apart, and where that box was, I have sort of taken apart right now. I just have to resplice in all of the correct connectors for the ECU plug. Up here we had a bunch of stuff for what I presume to be a turbo timer Obviously, the turbo timer wasn't in here anymore, but the ignition switch itself has been cut. So that's what I'm assuming it was, but I can get that taken care of here soon. But for now, I'm going to put the new struts on here because if I take this tube off, it just falls. Alright, well, they definitely do their job now, because before, when I would pull, see how loud that was? When I'd pull that before, it wouldn't completely release, so I couldn't lift the trunk on my own. I had to have someone lift up on the trunk while they pulled it, and the doing it with the key wouldn't work. But it definitely pushes it up now, it holds it up, and it allows me to open the trunk by myself, so I'm fine with that. Now I gotta throw these stock struts out. But anyways, they'll get the job done. I think they were like 30 bucks. As far as these go, for anyone that doesn't know, these will actually slide in here. Upside down. They'll slide in here, kind of clip in, and then they'll bolt down. So from the underside. So once these are in there and I bolt them down, there will be one on each side, which is where the bumper bar, the bumper support, will come through here and get bolted down in, and then I can cut out whatever I need to fit the intercooler or whatever. So I may not put a crash bar in it. It depends how cheap I can find one. But regardless, I want those at the very least to be able to hold up the intercooler when I get one. But I am going to clean these up and try and get some of this rust out of here, because this frame, you can see there's not a speck of rust inside of there. And these are pretty rusty, so I want to clean these up and get rid of all the rust, just grind them down, put a nice coat of paint on them. Also, I have a lot of the wiring I'm starting to figure out. So there's like a black and yellow wire here that, this isn't the right connection for the starter, but I'm pretty sure the black and yellow is the only one that goes to the starter. And it's definitely a black and yellow wire that goes to the starter besides the ground. And I can't find for the life of me any other black and yellow wires in this whole harness. So that's got to be it. And somebody just switched out the connector for some odd reason. But I don't think it's going to work. And I'll have to find another one. There's also like a plug that goes on the temp sensor, which is a red and yellow wire. And I'm not sure if it's this one here or this one down here. I got to double check with some of my wiring schematics. I got a wiring diagram for the car now as well, so that's something that, at least now I can have some point of reference. But we're getting it cleaned up. It's moving along pretty good. Alrighty, so that concludes everything that I have for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and there will be another one up hopefully soon. I'm trying to keep the content on this car coming out, relatively quickly. The more I push myself to put out videos of the car, the more I'm going to be getting done. So if I'm like, I'll wait till the end of the week to do a video, or whatever I end up doing, I feel like it'll just make me slow down progress on the car. And with maybe 5 months to get this build done for my goal date, it's not going to get done unless I'm really pushing it. Seems like 5 months is a long time, but when you're only working on it 2-3 days a week for a couple hours here and there, it's not a whole lot of time. So anyways, once it warms up, we can do a lot more stuff. But right now I'm just trying to do some of the more simple stuff that I want to get out of the way. Anyways, sorry I took enough of your time, but thanks for checking out the video. Leave feedback, whatever you want to do, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.